Welcome guys and girls to the Noob Nerd channel. It's been a while since my last video upload. I'm sorry for that. I've made the excuse on my other sports channel. If you haven't subscribed to that or checked it out, it's in the description below. Already plugging, for God's sake. Why am I doing that? But basically, it's September, work, school's back, all that good stuff. But now, I finished Iron Fist and I'm here to do a discussion and review on it. And I never expected to do this video because Iron Fist wasn't the most popular thing when Season 1 came out. But Season 2, I was always going to review it. I was one of the few people who actually liked Iron Fist Season 1, and there's other videos where I talk about this. I liked it. There was problems. Danny Rand being a bit weird, about how he just been a bit stubborn and just a bit annoying. Some company, Humbo Jumbo, is just, yeah, I could see some of the limitations that people were having with it, some of the problems they were having with it, but I liked it and I was hoping for a Season 2 and a better Season 2, whether I liked the first season or not. And I think more people can agree than ever that Iron Fist Season 2 turns it around in terms of quality, even better than the first season. For most people, of course, some people might say you're entitled to your own opinion, but some people might say it's worse than Season 1, but I don't think many people are saying that right now. And I agree with those who see the season as a renowned surprise, because even though I liked the first season, I was very surprised by this season and how it changed direction. Of course, the new showrunner, they replaced the old showrunner and they got rid of all the company bit. We don't really see any bit of Rand Industries. You don't really see the buildings, the ins and outs of that, unlike the first season. They get rid of that. They have Ward and Ward Meacham, who's doing the day-to-day running, but they don't actually show it. Joy Meacham and all that. Let's start with Danny Rand, because people obviously saying that they should have got an Asian actor. And the fact that they got loads of Asian actors specifically for this season was a kind of weird. It was almost like they're trying to make up for it. But as the season progressed, these Asian actors were doing very good by themselves and they stood on their own. And of course, especially Colleen Wing, who's one of the best, if not the best supporting character. Well, is she even a supporting character now? Wow. I'm just amazed. The spoilers, of course, just to let you know. God, that's ridiculous, man. I was so surprised, man. They took a good direction. They knew what they were going to do with it. They did surprises without being surprises for the sake of it. I don't like it when they do twists just for the sake of just there being a twist. M. Night Shyamalan. No, but yeah, I like M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, so I'm going off the tangent. Danny Rand. They got a white actor, him from Game of Thrones. They didn't utilize him properly first season. This season gave him much more to do. He might not be the best actor in this Netflix. I'll be the first one to admit that he's not the best actor for this role. Well, not for this role, but in when you compare it to other actors in the Marvel Netflix universe. But here he presents himself as a really nice guy who's just trying to do what's right and just struggling with the fact that is he caring more about himself and the Iron Fist than protecting the city, trying to live up to the Daredevil's mantle as a protector of New York, and he's just really good. And by the end of the season, I want Danny Rand to be still the main character. It's almost like that situation when they take something away and you don't realize how good it is until it's gone. But they made the character development. Wow, I'm really Danny, and he's got the guns and the chi guns. Oh my, it's ridiculous. It makes me want to read the Iron Fist comic book. I said this before. If a show, comic book, property, TV or film makes you want to read the source material, it's done a brilliant job. And I want to read more Iron Fist comics. I want to know about its history. And it's spoon feeding you even more information now, and they're just setting you up for the next season, making you more excited for the next season. So Danny Rand is just trying to struggle, like, shall he trust his mates, or is his mates his enemies? How far would he go until he snaps and just tries to get rid of those who once cared for him, or maybe fell into darkness, if you know what I mean? He does the selfless thing, and when he's training with Colleen, he realizes that Colleen is the better fit for the role, and Colleen is the better fit for the role. Colleen Wing is a fantastic supporting character, but Danny Rand is so good by himself. I like him more as a character now, not just as a guy who just keeps on saying, I'm the immortal fist all the time. He's more than that, and it's almost kind of a meta commentary. He's almost thinking to himself, he should be more than just, he needs to be better, he needs to learn more, he needs to know more history about Iron Fist to truly become what he was meant to be, to truly become the Iron Fist, he has to understand the implications. He has to understand how he's doing things. He has to understand that he's got some weaknesses and he needs to sort them out. And it's so cool. And him and Ward's bromance is just him getting along, them two getting along. Ward is one of those characters who makes snarky comments, but not in an unlikable way. Could easily be unlikable. But Ward is such a cool character, and I loved his arc in this series, which he was going to the group meetings. Of course, started out being just being there just for sex with the woman running things, but then it transitions. Ward trying to become more of a father figure, almost mirroring Danny's path to being a better person, but of course in different ways. Obviously, Ward is tasked with being a father now, and that's so cool for season 3 as well. But he realised he needed something else. He didn't know what he was doing with his life. And of course, him and Danny going to Asia to sort things out is so cool. I love the bromance. Ward, again, that actor, sometimes it can be a bit cringy with the way he tries to be emotional. But most of the time it works. I'm just being nitpicky. I really like the actor. I like Ward Meacham so much. Joey Meacham, however, I find a bit too annoying in the season. She kind of stays in like this emotional state for the most of the season, and I get it, she's mad with Danny, but it's like, it just seems annoying. I think there was a better way they could have handled that. But of course, by the end, she does try and... I get it, she's trying to be antagonist, obviously. But Joy, she's a good actress, whoever plays her. And I like the new dress sense trying to represent her. I liked her partnership with Davos. Davos was very good in this season. The flashbacks, at the start, the flashbacks felt a bit like they're just doing flashbacks for the sake of flashbacks. It didn't feel like it just fit in with what they were trying to do. But then as the story progressed, that it's basically the whole point of flashbacks is to give you sympathy for Davos and how his entire life was just to get trained. And I was thinking this before this I watched the series, that Davos, I need to see flashbacks of Kunlun. I need to see more Kunlun, because without that you can't relate to these characters. You know what I mean? They keep on talking about this Kunlun place. If you don't see what they were actually going through, then you don't really resonate with these characters, villain or hero. So Davos is really good. I really respect the actor. I watched a recent film, I forgot Davos, he needs to be mentioned. I need to know this guy's name. Sacha Dhawan. He's a very fantastic actor. He's in, if I would recommend anything, BBC iPlayer, if you can access that, The Boy with the Top Knot. He plays a really charming guy in that. He shows his range here. I still think he's better as a nice guy than a bad guy. He's not the best bad guy in the world, but he's good enough, and he tries, and you can tell the actors are all working hard to do what they can for this role. And yeah, it's brilliant to witness, especially when he gets that red Iron Fist. And some of the scenes with his mother, the character's mother, is brilliant, absolutely heartfelt. Back to Colleen Wing. Colleen Wing interacting with these kids almost. And once again, the kids, they seem to come out of nowhere. I get it. I really like the arc they go through, but I don't really care about what happens to them, if you know what I mean. Because I don't know anything about them. But of course, I know it's hard to try and... Even in a TV show, when there's an hour per episode, it's hard to, explain everything without it feeling too slow and stuff like that. But Colleen interacting with these kids. BB, rest in peace, BB. He didn't deserve to die the way he did. I knew he was going to get stabbed, right from the very off. And yeah, that was cool seeing Davos try and manipulate these kids into doing their willing. 10 episodes was fantastic. It brought up the pace a bit, but I would have liked the 11th episode, one in between 7 to 8. There's an episode where it's Davos gets the kids, and for the next episode they're all immediately training and stuff like that. I wanted the episode in between, but that's just a nitpick. I think the pace, 10 episodes was the right decision. So you don't have to go 12 episodes if you don't have to. They wanted to redeem themselves to many viewers, and I think they have a lot. And I really want to... I'd be interested to see the viewing figures on this. Netflix already released viewing figures, but hopefully this season gets enough viewing figures to get a third season. Instead of just spin-offs, I think... Oh, maybe spin-offs could be good as well, yeah. Daughters of the Dragon. And that brings us on to Misty Knight. Simone Missick does a great job once again as this brilliant character. Luke Cage, season 2, I'll talk about how good she is in that. She's great here. She's great in giving advice to Colleen. She starts out saying Danny Rand is his own guy. He's an adult. He has a responsibility for himself. Colleen doesn't have to be there holding his hand. She just gives some genuinely good advice, while also putting through some struggles herself. Of course, she's not invincible. She's not Mary Sue type, as people could say to other characters. She gets in trouble. She's in odds with the police who want this triad war to continue, just to get rid of all the criminals in the city. Davos almost kind of reminds me of a Punisher, obviously, and that's a whole different argument. Is the Punisher just the same as Davos? Was Davos doing things a bit too far? And I think Davos was a bit too far. That scene where Davos kills that restaurant owner was so dramatic. The music was on point. The cinematography is brilliant. That really made me fearful for the Steel Serpent, and he was such an unpredictable force. Great villain. And speaking of villains, or maybe anti-villains, anti-heroes, Alice Eve as Mary Walker, Typhoid Mary. Typhoid Mary is a character in the comics who and she was actually rumored to be like a Defenders villain. She's a fascinating character, but I didn't know nothing about her. I'm not gonna pretend like I knew anything about her coming into this. Mary Walker, Alice Eve. Haven't really seen her in anything except Star Trek in the Darkness, when she's basically just a pretty girl just for there, you know what I mean? But here she shows her acting chops. The multiple personalities, it really freaked me out at the beginning. I thought it was a bit cringy at the beginning, but as the story went on, her multiple personalities were just so gripping, and it was so cool how there's a new third personality. The flashbacks to Sokovia, which is a nice reference to Avengers Age of Ultron. That's very cool. Yeah, Mary Walker's just, yeah, and people are already saying, let's see her in Daredevil, let's see her in Punisher. She's a great antagonist, and she's a different type of character, but she fits in well with this universe, and I can't wait to see more of her, to be honest. Alice Eve does a top job. I think this, I don't really know much about what she's done in the past, but I think she's reached a peak here, I think. Or maybe not, we'll see. What else? We have to talk about the ending. The ending. Basically, Colleen becomes the Iron Fist. They did it. People, like, I remember people saying on YouTube, and like, Colleen Wing should be the Iron Fist. Like, as a reaction channel. One reaction channel I could recommend who said Colleen Wing should be the Iron Fist before they called it before it even happened. I forgot that name. I forgot that name now, but I'm sure you know. Yeah, people say Colleen Wing's the more resonating character. She should be the main character, and they've pretty much just done that. But they did it so well. They didn't do it in a fan service way. They did it in a cool way. In the revelation at the end when Danny's training with Colleen, and he realizes, you're the one who should be the Iron Fist. Danny should be himself. He needs to learn how to be himself. So good. She's got white in the CGI. They fully go more CGI. They fully go into this mystical realm. They're just going more into that mystical realm, which is brilliant. Season 1 started off nothing. 2, well, not nothing, a bit obviously. Number 2, seeding those things in, and season 3 you can seed multiple Iron Fists. Iron Fist is Colleen Wing's mother, a previous Iron Fist, the one who mentioned in that fairy tale story that Danny also knew. Of course, that's not in the comics, but that's an example of changing things in the comics to suit the show and making it more engaging for the viewers. Because Iron Fist is not the most popular character, let's be honest, but they can just change a bit of the lore. Let's see more of the other capital cities of heaven, which are the mystical cities like Kunlun. There's so many possibilities with the show, and season 1 people were just saying, forget it, let's just end it now. Let's just do Heroes for Hire show or something like that. No, so much more possibilities with the show, and I'm so amazed with how it's turned out. I respect to the clan members, those who played the clan members of the triad. They made it convincing with the fight going on. But also, one other problem would be they don't use any guns. Like, I know maybe their traditional custom is to just use knives and stuff, and that brings some better fight action scenes than last season. But at the same time, sometimes you just get a gun and just sort it out. Like, some of the situations could be done so fast if you had a gun and stuff like that. But again, that's another criticism, but overall fantastic. Let me guys know your thoughts below if you've watched it yet. Thank you for bearing with me for all this time. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.